Let me tell you something. If you can do these 7 things at 70, you're not just living. You are winning at life. I have seen a lot of sunsets and felt the weight of many years, and I can tell you, reaching 70 is no small feat, but thriving at 70, that is where the magic is. And you can feel that magic if you hold on to a few things that most people let slip away long before they hit this age. These are not about wealth or status. No fancy cars or big houses. It is about feeling alive, connected, and grateful for every breath. If you can do these 7 things, you're doing better than most. You are truly winning. First, if you can get out of bed without pain knocking you back down, you are blessed. I'm not talking about springing out like a teenager. Just being able to swing your legs over the side, stand up, and start your day without feeling like your body is betraying you. That is victory. I have watched people younger than 70 struggle to move. Every step a battle. So if you can stand tall and walk without wincing, remember, you're already ahead. It is easy to take this for granted when you're young, but at 70, mobility is freedom. It is independence. It is the difference between watching life from a window and living it. If you have that freedom, do not waste it. Use it. Walk outside. Feel the sun on your face. And be grateful because many would give anything just to be able to do that. Second, if you can laugh. I mean, really laugh. That deep, belly-shaking kind of laugh that makes you wipe tears from your eyes. You're richer than you think. Life has a way of hardening people. Pain, loss, and disappointment. They leave marks that do not fade easily. But if you can still find joy, if you can still see the humor in the little things, you are winning. Laughter is the sound of the soul dancing. It means you're still light inside, not weighed down by all the baggage this world throws at you. If you can laugh at 70, you're still young where it counts the most. Do not let the world take that from you. Surround yourself with people who make you smile. Watch something silly. Remember the funny moments. Life is serious enough. Laughter is your rebellion against the weight of the years. Third, if you have people who check on you just to see how you're doing, you are wealthier than the richest man alive. At 70, loneliness is a real enemy. I have seen it eat people from the inside out. If you have a friend who calls, a neighbor who stops by, a child who visits just to sit with you, you are blessed. That means you mattered. You made a difference in someone's life, and they care enough to make sure you are okay. That is not something you can buy. It is earned over a lifetime of giving love, kindness, and understanding. If you have people who still care, cherish them, telling you appreciate them. Those connections are the threads that keep your heart from unraveling. They're the echoes of a life well lived. Fourth, if you can still learn something new, you're defying time itself. The world is changing so fast. Technology, ideas, even the way people speak. It is easy to feel left behind. But if you can still be curious, if you can still ask questions and try to understand the world around you, you are more alive than most people half your age. The moment you stop learning, you start dying. Do not let your mind grow old just because your body is. Read books. Listen to different opinions. Learn how to use that new gadget everyone is talking about. It keeps your mind sharp. It keeps you connected. And it reminds you that there is always more to life than what you already know. If you're still learning, you are still growing. And that is winning. Fifth, if you can forgive, truly forgive. Not just say the words, but let go of the bitterness. You are freer than most people ever get to be. Carrying grudges is like drinking poison and hoping someone else suffers. It weighs you down. It steals your peace. At 70, you do not have time for that. If you can forgive those who hurt you, if you can forgive yourself for the mistakes you made, you're giving yourself the gift of peace. And that is worth more than anything money can buy. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting. It means choosing to move forward without dragging the past behind you. If you can do that, you are lighter. You are freer. You are winning the battle against pain and resentment. Sixth, if you can look back on your life without regret swallowing you whole, you have lived well. No one gets through life without mistakes, wrong choices, missed opportunities. But if you can look back and smile more than you sigh, if you can remember the good times louder than the bad, you are winning. Regret is a heavy burden, and it grows heavier with age. if you made peace with your past, if you learned from it instead of letting it haunt you, you are ahead of the game. You cannot change what happened, but you can change how you carry it. If you can hold your memories with gratitude instead of sorrow, you are winning. Finally, if you can still love, if your heart is still open, even after all the loss, pain, and disappointment, you're the richest soul walking this earth. Love is not just about romance. It is about caring, about wanting good for others. If you can still feel love for the people in your life, if you can still find beauty in this world, you have not been hardened by the years. That is a victory in itself. I have seen people close themselves off because they were hurt. They build walls so high that nothing can get in or out. But if you can still love, if you can still feel, you are alive. You are winning. These 7 things are not about money or fame or achievements. They're about the soul, about the heart. If you can move freely, if you can laugh, if you have people who care, if you're still learning, if you can forgive, if you can look back without regret, if you can still love, you are richer than you realize. You are winning the game of life in ways that truly matter. It is not about how many years you have left. It is about how you live the ones you have. If you could do these 7 things at 70, you are not just surviving, you are thriving. And that is the greatest victory of all. Let me tell you something about aging that most people get completely wrong. I am in my 70s now, and I have heard just about every misconception there is about growing old. Some people think life stops at 65, like the world suddenly becomes gray and dull. Others believe that being in your 70s means constant pain, loneliness, and waiting for the end. It is almost as if society has convinced itself that getting old is the worst thing that can happen to you. But I am here to tell you that this way of thinking is nonsense. It is not the number of years that holds people back. It is the misconceptions about aging that prevent them from truly enjoying their 70s. These lies settle into the mind, building walls that keep joy, adventure, and fulfillment out. If you want to live fully in your 70s, you have to tear down those walls. The biggest misconception I see is the idea that life loses its purpose once you reach a certain age. People think that retirement means the end of usefulness. They believe that once you're no longer working or raising kids, your days are just empty hours waiting to be filled. Let me tell you, that cannot be further from the truth. Purpose does not end with a career. It does not retire when you do. In fact, your 70s are the perfect time to find new purpose. Whether it is volunteering, mentoring, learning something new, or just enjoying the world in ways you never had time for before, there is so much to live for. I have watched people transform their lives by letting go of this misconception. They stopped seeing themselves as too old and started exploring what really mattered to them. It is not about what you used to do. It is about what you can do now. And if you are breathing, you can still find purpose. Another damaging belief is the idea that physical decline is inevitable and unbearable. Sure, the body changes. You're not going to run marathons at 70 like you did at 30. But that does not mean you are doomed to a life of pain and immobility. I see so many people give up on their health because they think it is useless to try. They stop moving. They stop caring. And then they wonder why everything hurts. Listen to me. It is not your age that makes you weak. It is your choices. I have known 70-year-olds who hike, swim, and dance. They are not superhuman. They just refuse to let this lie control them. If you keep moving, if you stay active and take care of your body, you will be surprised at what it can still do. Age is not a reason to quit. It is a reason to adapt and keep going. Then there is the misconception that loneliness is unavoidable in old age. People assume that losing friends or a spouse means a life of isolation. They convince themselves that younger people do not want to be around them or that they have nothing left to contribute socially. This is a heartbreaking lie that robs people of joy. Yes, you may lose people along the way. That is part of life at any age. But you do not have to be alone. Connection is out there if you are willing to reach for it. Join clubs, volunteer, learn something new, or simply strike up a conversation. If you are open to it, you can find companionship in the most unexpected places. The truth is people of all ages are hungry for connection. You just have to be brave enough to show up. Another harmful belief is the idea that learning and growing are only for the young. I see people my age dismiss new technology, new ideas, or new hobbies because they think they are too old to learn. They stick to what they know, even when it no longer serves them, because they believe the lie that the brain stops growing after a certain point. But let me tell you, if you're still curious, you're still young. I started learning how to use a computer in my 70s, and it opened up a whole new world for me. It is not about mastering everything. It is about staying engaged and curious. If you can keep learning, you will keep growing. And as long as you are growing, you are living. There is also a misconception that happiness and fun are only for the young. People believe that joy is reserved for those who are young and carefree, and that getting older means giving up on excitement. This is a lie that steals more happiness than anything else. Just because you are in your 70s does not mean you have to live a boring, routine life. You can still travel. You can still laugh until your sides hurt. You can still fall in love. You can still dance like nobody is watching. Fun does not expire. It just changes shape. If you can let go of this misconception and allow yourself to enjoy life, you will find that happiness is not bound by age. One of the most damaging misconceptions is the fear of becoming a burden. I see so many people withdraw from their families and friends because they do not want to be in the way. They isolate themselves out of fear that they are no longer useful, that their presence is just a bother. But this is a lie that loneliness feeds on. Your worth is not determined by what you can do for others. Your value is not measured by your productivity. The people who love you want you around, not for what you do, but for who you are. If you push them away because of this misconception, you are robbing them of the joy of your company. Do not let fear make you disappear from the lives of those who care about you. Finally, there is the misconception that it is too late to change. People believe that by 70, their story is already written. They think that who they are is set in stone and that there is no point in trying to be better or different. But let me tell you, as long as you are breathing, you can change. You can learn to forgive. You can become kinder. You can pursue a dream you never had time for before. I have seen people turn their lives around in their 70s and become happier than they ever were in their youth. It is never too late to start living differently. How can one prepare in earlier decades to ensure they are thriving at 70? If you want to thrive at 70, you have to start preparing long before you get there. I am in my 70s now, and I can tell you, the choices you make in your 30s, 40s, and 50s shape the life you will live later on. Most people think that old age just happens to them, as if it is some surprise that sneaks up out of nowhere. But the truth is, old age is built day by day with every habit, every decision, and every priority you set. If you wait until you are old to start thinking about how to live well, you have waited too long. But if you prepare wisely and thoughtfully in your earlier decades, you will find yourself not just surviving, but truly thriving at 70. The first and most important thing you can do is to take care of your body. I know it sounds simple, but it is the foundation of everything. People always say they want to stay active in their 70s, but they spend decades sitting at desks, eating poorly, and neglecting their health. Then they are surprised when they cannot move without pain. Do not be one of those people. Start taking care of your body now. Exercise regularly, even if it is just walking every day. Eat foods that nourish you, not just what tastes good in the moment. Keep your weight under control and stay flexible. You do not have to be an athlete, but you do have to keep moving. The body is like a machine. If you let it rust, it will stop working. But if you keep it well-oiled and active, it will carry you through your later years with strength and ease. At 70, the simple ability to walk without pain is a blessing you cannot put a price on. And that blessing is earned in your earlier decades. Just as important as physical health is your mental and emotional well-being. Life is not easy, and you will face hardships no matter how well you plan. But the way you handle those challenges shapes who you become. If you want to be at peace in your 70s, start practicing resilience now. Learn to let go of grudges. Do not carry anger and resentment with you. It only gets heavier with time. Learn to forgive, not just others, but also yourself. You're going to make mistakes. Everyone does. But if you learn to accept them as lessons rather than failures, You will carry wisdom instead of regret. Emotional baggage does not just disappear as you age. It gets heavier. If you do not learn to unpack it while you are young, it will weigh you down when you are old. Practice gratitude every day. Even when life is hard, find something to be thankful for. Gratitude is the antidote to bitterness, and it keeps your heart light. If you can enter your 70s with a grateful heart and a forgiving spirit, you will find peace no matter what life brings. Another key to thriving at 70 is to invest in meaningful relationships. I am not talking about collecting acquaintances or building a network of business connections. I am talking about real, deep, meaningful connections. Family, close friends, and people who truly care about you. In the end, it is not about how many people you know. It is about who will be there for you when life gets tough. If you want those relationships in your 70s, you have to start building them now. Put down your phone and really listen to the people you care about. Spend time with them. Make memories. Show up when they need you. And do not wait for special occasions to tell them you love them. It is easy to get caught up in work and responsibilities, but if you neglect your relationships now, you will find yourself lonely later on. People need people, no matter how old they are. And the joy of having someone by your side at 70 is worth every effort you make to build that bond today. Financial stability is another important part of thriving at 70. I'm not saying you need to be rich, but you do need to be prepared. Start saving and investing early, even if it is just a little at a time. Avoid debt as much as you can. Live below your means, not above them. I have seen too many people reach retirement age and realize they cannot afford to stop working. That is a hard place to be. Plan wisely so you do not find yourself there. But beyond saving, learn to live simply and contentedly. Money buys comfort, not happiness. If you learn to find joy in simple pleasures, you will be rich in the ways that matter most. I have known people who had very little, but were the happiest souls you could meet because they were content with what they had. The earlier you learn this, the richer your life will be at 70. Never stop learning. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking that learning is only for the young. They finish school, get a job, and then stop growing. But the mind needs exercise just like the body. Keep feeding it new ideas, new challenges, and new skills. Read books, take up hobbies, learn about things that interest you. The world is full of wonder, and curiosity keeps you young. If you keep learning, you will stay engaged with life. You will keep your mind sharp, and you will never run out of things to be excited about. I have met people in their 70s who are full of life because they never stopped being curious. And I have seen others who withered long before their time because they stopped growing. Choose to keep learning, and you will thrive at 70 and beyond. Finally, live with purpose. Find something that gives your life meaning, something bigger than yourself. Whether it is faith, volunteering, creating, teaching, or simply being there for your loved ones, purpose keeps your spirit alive. It pulls you out of bed in the morning and fills your days with meaning. Too many people reach 70 feeling lost because they spent their earlier decades chasing things that did not matter. Do not make that mistake. Figure out what truly matters to you and build your life around it. Purpose is not about achievements or recognition. It is about living in a way that makes you feel alive. If you find that purpose in your earlier decades, it will carry you through every season of life. What legacy does a life lived fully at 70 leave behind for future generations? When you live fully at 70, you leave behind a legacy that reaches far beyond your years. It is not about wealth, fame, or achievements written in history books. It is about the invisible threads you weave through the lives you touch, the stories you share, the wisdom you pass on, and the love you give so freely. These are the things that echo long after you are gone. When you live with purpose, joy, and integrity, you leave behind a blueprint for living. You show the next generations not just how to grow old, but how to live well. And that, my friend, is a legacy worth leaving. One of the greatest gifts you can leave behind is the example of resilience. Life is hard, and the road is rarely smooth. But when you reach 70 with a spirit unbroken by hardship, You show the younger ones that challenges do not have to define them. You teach them that pain and loss are part of life, but they do not have to steal your joy. When they see you face adversity with courage and grace, they learn how to stand strong when their own storms come. They learn that strength is not about never falling, but about always getting back up. I have lived through loss, heartache, and days when the weight of the world felt too heavy to carry. But I did not give up, and because of that, my children and grandchildren know they do not have to either. That is a legacy more powerful than any inheritance. Living fully at 70 also means showing what it looks like to love deeply and unconditionally. I have found that the greatest impact we leave is in the hearts of those we love. When you love without expectation, without holding back, you create memories that last long after you are gone. Your laughter, your hugs, the way you made them feel valued and safe. These become treasures they carry with them. They learn how to love because you show them how. I have always made it a point to be present, to really listen, to show up, and to make my loved ones feel important. In a world that is moving faster every day, that kind of presence is rare. But when you give it, you teach them that love is not about grand gestures, but about being there day after day. Wisdom is another priceless legacy. Not the kind you find in books, but the kind that comes from living, from making mistakes and learning from them. When you live fully, you gather stories and lessons that no school can teach. And when you share that wisdom, you give the next generation a map to navigate their own journeys. I have always been honest about my failures and struggles. I do not hide my scars because they are proof that I survived. I tell my grandchildren about the times I was afraid, but did it anyway. About the dreams I chased and the ones I let go. About the times I was wrong and the times I was right. I share these stories not to boast, but to show them that life is not about being perfect. It is about being real, being brave, and learning as you go. Another powerful legacy of living fully at 70 is teaching the importance of gratitude and joy. The world can be heavy, and it is easy to get lost in the struggles and pain. But if you can reach 70 with a heart still capable of joy, you show the younger ones that happiness is not about circumstances. It is about perspective. I have seen so much in my lifetime, good and bad, but I choose to focus on the blessings. I wake up grateful for another day, for the sunrise, for the people I love. I laugh often and find joy in the simplest things. A cup of coffee, a walk in the park, a conversation with a friend. When you live this way, you teach the next generation that life is beautiful, even when it is hard. You show them that joy is a choice, and gratitude is the key to a happy heart. Financial wisdom is another legacy worth leaving. Not just teaching them how to earn and save, but showing them how to live within their means and find contentment with what they have. I have seen people chase money their whole lives, only to realize too late that wealth does not bring happiness. I have lived simply and have been content. I have taught my children and grandchildren that money is a tool, not a measure of success. That experiences are worth more than possessions, and that generosity brings more joy than accumulation. When you live fully and wisely at 70, you pass on not just financial stability, but also the wisdom to live a life of purpose and balance. Living fully at 70 also means leaving a legacy of purpose and passion. When you continue to grow, learn, and pursue what you love, you show the younger ones that life does not end at retirement. That age is just a number, and purpose is what keeps you young. I have never stopped being curious, never stopped pursuing the things that light my soul on fire. Whether it is volunteering, creating, or learning something new, I stay engaged with life. When my grandchildren see me still dreaming, still exploring, they learn that life is meant to be lived at every age. They learn that passion is the spark that keeps your spirit alive. Finally, when you live fully at 70, you leave behind a legacy of faith and hope. I have faced enough trials to know that life does not always go as planned. But I have also learned that hope is stronger than despair and faith is stronger than fear. When you live with hope, even in difficult times, you inspire others to do the same. When they see you face loss but still believe in tomorrow, they learn that darkness does not last forever. I have always held on to faith, and I have shared that faith with my family. Not by preaching, but by living it. By showing them what it looks like to trust, to believe, and to keep going even when the road is hard. A life lived fully at 70 leaves behind a legacy of courage, love, wisdom, gratitude, financial responsibility, purpose, passion, faith, and hope. It leaves behind stories that inspire, lessons that guide, and memories that comfort. It shows the next generation not just how to grow old, but how to truly live. And when you leave that kind of legacy, you never really leave at all. You live on in the lives you touched, in the hearts you loved, and in the stories they will tell long after you are gone. That, my friend, is the legacy of a life well lived. If you like today's discussion, don't forget to like the video, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to stay updated with every video we release. And yes, don't forget to share your experiences and thoughts in the comments. Every comment is special to us. Your feedback helps us improve further. We'll continue to meet you in every new video on this channel. So until next time, take care.